Get all the dog hair off my shirt. Hey, welcome to this video. We are going to be talking about my resin favorites. I've been a resin artist for 5 years now, and I'm going to give away all my secrets and all my favorite brands, and everything I talk about will be linked down below in my Amazon storefront. I've recently just reorganized my storefront, so now it's like if you want to make keychains, here's all my keychain materials, here's all my bookmark stuff, and I'm slowly adding more. That way it's not just like here's all the molds I like and all the colors. Everything is very specific and organized now, so go check it out. If you end up finding this video useful and you want to stick around, I make videos about art, wellness, and small business content. I'm really focusing on the business side of things right now. So if that interests you, please consider subscribing and give me a thumbs up because it really helps out my channel. We're gonna start off with colors. My favorite colors to use in resin. So this is especially for ocean work. I love this white pigment. Maybe I should sit this way so I can put pictures of everything over here, where we have the nice sunshine coming in from outside. This white pigment is so good. It mixes very well with resin. It's the only pigment I've personally found that make nice ocean waves. For acrylic paint, I just go to Michael's and I get this brand. I think it's called Basics. I really like the colors in there. They're not too expensive and they're very pigmented. Oak Art chalk paint is by far my favorite chalk paint. I've bought quite a few and I've just never found anything to be as good as this chalk paint. I actually just painted this whole dresser beside me. Do you want to see it? Not sure how much of that you can see, but that's all just with white chalk paint, and then I added those gold knobs. Pretty much 1 or 2 coats of that is great, so it's nice if you're finishing off paintings. You want to paint like the border around your painting, it's great for that. It in everyday things like my Zodiac keychains, that's just black chalk paint behind it, so it mixes really well. Pearl Pigments is black diamond. They make incredible pigments. I can't stress this enough. This deep blue and teal are my favorites for making ocean work. If you put your phone flashlight over it or put it in the sun, the way they shimmer, in love. Pinata makes my favorite alcohol inks. The gold and silver ones for accent colors, and then the other ones just work great for layering if you want to make layered resin, like a coaster for example, where it looks 3D, or if you want to use it for paintings, it's great for both. Alright, should we get into my favorite resin brands? I have to talk about the most obvious one, which is Art Resin. That's the craft resin I pretty much use for everything. I went to the Art Resin headquarters. I'm not paid to say this, I just genuinely used the brand and then they reached out to me, so it was like a perfect collaboration. It also made me feel better about resin safety because I met the CEOs and they were very nice, and they were actually filming a video also on set that day about resin safety with Art Resin and how safe it is for home use. Art Resin is great in terms of safety, so versatile. I've made so many paintings and different mold type projects with Art Resin. It's definitely not meant for really deep pours, but it can pour pretty thick. My favorite resin for deep pours is Total Boat. I've made a lot of stuff with them. Their resin is great. My favorite UV resin, I think it's J Diction. You guys can see it here on the screen. I've tried a couple different UV resins, I think 3, and that one is my favorite. I love the way it cures. It's very easy to use. It doesn't smell as much as other UV resins that I've used. Favorite molds. My favorite brand for molds is Let's Resin. I made some of my favorite stuff, and I feel like they have very creative molds, like the Ouija board stuff, which you guys know is right up my alley. I love the quality of their stuff. I'm gonna get into a couple of my favorite molds, but of course you can find these all on my Amazon storefronts. Alphabet molds, but only the reverse mold. I like when the bottom of the mold ends up being the front because then it ends up nice and flat. So if you're making keychains, alphabet molds are great, but make sure they're reverse molds. Oval they're not ovals, but I don't know, flat and then oval on the sides. Those trays, I love the shape of them, the size. I just think that they're awesome. Bookmark molds. Bookmarks are probably my #1 seller anytime I've been at a market, just because the keychains are very custom, so they don't really sell as well in person, but bookmarks sold amazing. As you know, everything is linked on my Amazon storefront, so you can see more of my favorite molds on there. Favorite flowers to use are just from Amazon. They are a little bit pricey, but I think they look so beautiful in different keychains and all the different types of work I do. And I also like this other kind of brand of flowers because they're really good for filler things, so I kind of tear the flowers apart and use them. You can dry your own flowers as well, which I find is also great for filler. I've never been good at drying whole flowers where I can use them in like its full form. I usually dry them and then use their petals. Let me know if you want a video on how to do that. My favorite things to add to resin, these mushroom, alien, and what else is there? Butterfly stickers. They're not stickers, they're just kind of like pins. I don't know what they actually are. They're not stickers though. These are so cool and they add a lot of depth and things to your projects. I got these rocks and crystals from Etsy. I like buying big variety packs of crystals because I just find so much use for them in my wire wrap jewelry as well as in my resin. And there are these plastic crystals you can get on Amazon, and I added one of them to my sun catcher, which I thought was really cute. I think they'd also be really cool to add onto a resin keychain or something. These little sun catcher pieces, I think they're just so stunning. Even on their own, I have so many of these little things that I add to stuff. Gold, silver, and rose gold sheets are a must. I bought them once, and think of all the projects I've made, I've never replaced my batch. That is money well spent. Zodiac words, you can use them for so many different things. Mixed media piece, I use them as keychains, and then people can pick their zodiac sign, or their friends get it as a gift. And I think you get a few of each zodiac sign in the pack. These little space themed gold things, they're so fun as an add-in to resin. These smaller mushrooms, I think they're a little bit pricier from my memory. You can also get jellyfish. They look really cool in resin. I've used them for so many different projects. I made like a little mushroom world as a deep pour. This is the heat gun that I use. If I can't find my exact one, I will link one that's similar. And for my drill, I just use a Black & Decker drill, and then I use this micro box drill bits. You can get a hand twist drill, which I would recommend. It's probably way easier, but I just wanted, I'm looking at it right now, which is why I keep looking over there. I wanted a really big drill for like other house projects, which is why I got that for my resin stuff, and I just use it for other things. But if you want it specifically for crafting, a hand twist drill would be great. For heat guns, I have also used this smaller one, and it works awesome. So do not splurge on one if you don't have to. You can even use a blow dryer if you have one laying around. You don't mind it possibly getting messed up with resin. These silicone mats, cups, bowls, I have linked, but I absolutely swear by it. It's so much better for the environment, so you're not using plastics such as garbage bags, popsicle sticks, and just producing so much waste. Helps to cut it down a lot. You just peel the resin right off. You can just clean it with nail polish remover if the resin hasn't cured inside of it. And you're also not going out and constantly replacing materials, so you're saving your time, money. It's better for the environment. Overall, swear by silicone products. I could go into a lot more detail about the keychain rings I like, the bookmark tassels, but those will all be linked below. I just kind of wanted to give you a general overview of all of my favorites when working with resin. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for being here with me today. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. Subscribe if you're new. I would love to have you here. Thank you for being here with me today, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!